With the AC power cable plugged into the back of the unit, verify the emergency stop switch is not engaged. Turn it clockwise to disengage. Set the main power switch to the on position. Press the power on button. The ready light will come on. Press the power button on the touch panel computer. The system will boot up and the press application will start. Turn on the power switch located at the back of the printer. Press the power button on the side of the printer front panel. The printer will boot up to the main screen. Install the label roll onto the mandrel. Push it in until it stops and tighten the mandrel. Make sure the roll will unwind clockwise. Feed the material under the two bottom bars and to the outside of the two side bars. If necessary, cut the end of the stock to create a clean edge. Place the material into the printer, making sure the stock is resting against the fixed guides. Lower the roller assembly and lock it in place. When loading the material, refer to the unwind module diagram located on the press. Using the paper path feed function on the printer, start to feed material through the printer. The pinch rollers will need to be in the open position. Follow the diagram, threading the material around the rollers. Stop and start the paper path feed function as needed. Follow the diagram to properly feed the material through the unwind side of the press. Using a print file created for one of your dies, send a print job to the printer. When there is enough slack, press pause on the printer. Refer to the rewinder module diagram on the press for the paper path. Feed the material through the rewind side of the press. The slitter assembly will need to be in the raised position. Install an empty core on the bottom rewind mandrel. Tighten the mandrel. Secure the stock to the core and turn on the web tension controller. With the stock threaded through the press, verify the position of the stock going through the web guide. With the 2 arrows button pressed, adjust the stock position until the sensor value reads very close to 0. Then press the top circle button. Adjust the location of the black mark sensor so it is over the stock and in line with the printed black mark. Tighten to lock into position. Before installing the die, we need to measure for the repeat value. If you know this value, you can proceed with die installation. Using a non-metal ruler, measure the distance from the bottom of the last cavity to the bottom of one of the alignment slots. This is the die plate length value that will be entered into the software. It is important not to damage the edge of any of the cavities. With both pressure dials set to 0, rotate the cylinder and locate the guide pins. Line up the slots in the flexible die with the guide pins on the magnetic cylinder. Confirm the guide pins are centered, top to bottom, in the die slots. Rotate the magnetic cylinder to attach the die. Replace the protective cover. Turn the handles clockwise to set die pressure. Turn the handles together to apply even pressure. The default pressure value is 15 bar. On the touch panel, confirm working mode is set to inline printer. Enter the die plate length for the flexible die you are using. Press Start to begin cutting labels. Use the buttons on the offset cut position box to adjust the front to back and left to right cut locations. Pressing the up and down buttons moves the cylinder assembly. This affects the front, back cut location. Pressing the left and right buttons moves the black mark sensor. This affects the left, right cut location. After running additional cuts, verify the cut position. Make further adjustments if necessary. Note, adjustments can be made as the press is running. Install an empty core to the waste removal mandrel. Tighten the mandrel. Cut the matrix around the die cut label so the matrix can be removed and attached to the empty core. Start the press to cut additional labels. Pull the matrix up and attach it to the core. Turn on the tension sensor for the waste mandrel. Lower the waste compact roller into place. There are 2 options for removing the waste, using the square peel bar or the roller bar. Which method to use will depend on the type of material, laminate used, and the shape of the label. To remove the bar, loosen the handle and slide out the bar. With the matrix removed, the slitters can be adjusted into position. Lower the slitter assembly 1 level. Line up the blades to the desired cut position. Lock the slitter assembly in the lowered position. With the slitting complete, individual finish rolls can now be created. Turn off the bottom rewind tension sensor and loosen the roll. Cut the material, leaving some slack. Remove the roll from the mandrel. Install empty cores cut to the width of your finished labels. The top rewind mandrel must be used for the labels closest to the back of the press. Install a core on the bottom rewind mandrel and adjust the tension sensor position if necessary. Position the cores to align with the slitted label stock. Attach the stock to the core and tighten the mandrels. Turn on the tension sensors for both the bottom and top mandrels. If the sides of the stock are being trimmed, take the trim material and feed it up above the bar and feed these into the waste take-up.